Good morning. It's another Saturday morning coffee episode. Thanks for joining me. I hope you've got a nice warm drink to keep you comfortable on this early Saturday morning. Unless you're in the Southern Hemisphere, then I'm pretty sure it's warm now, so I hope you have something cold. Whatever. Halloween, Jesus, Christmas. Halloween is next week after this recording, and I have been getting plenty of hate recently about not caring about Halloween. But I put Halloween at like the bottom of holidays that I care about. And it's not because of any, I guess, real reason, but, well, real reason that I guess other people would recognize. My first Halloween in college, I had to be the designated driver for my fraternity. I think there was only, by this time there were 6 of us. Only 3 of us had driver's licenses, and I was the only one with a car. Do the math. I ended up being the DD for most of freshman year. So my freshman year Halloween, I didn't bother dressing up because I knew that it was going to be a miserable night of me driving all over town constantly with no brakes. And then my second Halloween, I can't remember what, but I had something that stopped me from being able to like participate in Halloween festivities. And so I just never got into the Halloween spirit as an adult. And so now after those 2 years, I just never cared about it. I just never wanted to do it and never wanted to participate because the first 2 were just kind of like, killed it for me. And then I just never could get into it again. And so to this day, I just never really care about Halloween. It's all about getting to the day after November 1st, because that's when the winter/Christmas decorations come up. I've got it in my calendar right now. I'm going to get off work at 5, and then from 5 to 6, I'm going to go buy some extra Christmas decorations with my fiance, and then from 6 through the rest of the night, I am drinking eggnog, and I am putting up Christmas decorations all over my house, and I cannot wait. It's the real holiday that we should be celebrating, November 1st, the day that the Christmas decorations get to go up. Anyways, I've been getting flack for that all week, so I just thought I should bring it up and share it. I've got a buddy who's already started listening to Christmas music. I think he started listening to Christmas music on like October 1st or something. He texted me. He's like, "Oh, I already started it." And that might be a bit much. But he also does not care about Halloween and just wants to get straight to Christmas. So he at least gets it. Next up, I have been watching South Park, and I'm pretty sure I haven't brought it up yet on this podcast, but I'm on like season 7 of it, and I'm trying to watch through the entire series. They're on the 26th season right now. And of course that meant that I also ended up playing some of the video games. Like I have Phone Destroyer on my get this, my phone. And I've been playing, I just finished The Fractured Butthole. And that game was hilarious and very fun and perfectly encapsulates what South Park really is. And I just want to, one of the things about it was the name is South Park, the Fractured Butthole game. And it made fun of like superhero movies and stuff. And it took me like 15 hours of playing the game and hearing and watching TikToks about it and stuff before I finally realized what the name was, The Fractured Butthole. If you said it quicker, you would get it. I'm sure the first time I said it, everyone heard it, but I, for some reason, I didn't pick up on it after 15 hours of playing the game what the title actually was, and I was so mad at myself for not getting the joke for so long. I don't know why I didn't pick it up. Anyways, I My mother absolutely hates South Park, and I grew up not being allowed to watch it, along with a few other shows in the same vein. Um, but as an adult, I think I've come to appreciate South Park because of its like incredibly well written satire, its like social commentary, and like the cultural perspectives that it has, like sex ed in public education, like celebrity culture, AIDS, all these like really difficult topics that are like totally taboo for most shows to even mention. They just go all in, entire episode entirely dedicated to this one niche subject that and then of course they just take it to the extreme, because that's what South Park is. They take every topic to the absolute extreme. But I think there's like something really I think that there's something deeper about each time they touch on these subjects, because they're not like, they're willing to go all out and throw down these jokes and stuff, but through all the jokes they're making a point about how ridiculous some people are when it comes to these topics. And I just think there's a lot of social commentary that goes into each episode. If you look past all the fart jokes and all of the wildly inappropriate actions that the characters take in the show. If you've never watched South Park, actually, I guess I should say I would be shocked if no one even knows what South Park is. But it is a park. It's a movie about Jesus. It is a show on a channel called Comedy Central about four kids. They're in fourth grade. They start out in third grade, and then later on in the show they get to fourth grade. Which is, I guess also that's not outside the U.S. So that would be five. They're 8 and then 9 years old in the show, and they all live in this like small mountain town called South Park, and a state called Colorado, and each episode is a self-contained story about some niche topic or some major issue, or it's just, let's take a joke and run with it as long as possible and just wear it entirely out. And then that's our episode. So anyways, another thing I really appreciate about the show is that it's just entirely willing to touch any subject. Doesn't matter how taboo it is. Doesn't matter how many times they continue to get death threats from one organization or another. They're just not afraid to continue putting out what they think that they should put out and making comments on what they want to make comments about. And sometimes they it's a little uncomfortable. Like I did not enjoy their maybe I shouldn't say this, but I did not enjoy their post 9/11 episode where they were like, rah rah, support the troops, we need to be in the Middle East, and their portrayal of Muslims, didn't love it, but I'm trying to play it up as a product of the time. It did not age well, but I think pretty much everything else did age well. I feel like that's their biggest flop was that one, but I know that episode is particularly favorited among many other people. Anyways, I I didn't mention that I was watching the show for the longest time anywhere near my mom, because like I said, she did not want me watching this show growing up, and she hated it. And I loved it. It came up in conversation like last week or something like that, and visible reaction of like, ugh, I cannot believe you are watching this, Michael. And it was just as funny as a reaction as I was expecting. But sorry, Mom. I guess that's 2 topics, and I still haven't taken a drink of my coffee. Okay, so this might be a bit of a short episode. I am on my last topic already, unless something just randomly comes to mind and I need to go on like a totally unscripted rant. But I have been working on paying off my debt like every other American. Um, and right now I am like, I can see the finish line on my credit card debt. It's like right there. I can almost reach it. And in fact, there's even like a small chance that I might have my credit card debt paid off in the month of November. It depends on how much Christmas presents are in me. But that's not the end of my debt. Of course, I think I've got like 70,000 student loan. Maybe it's 60. It's between $60,000 and $70,000 of student loan debt. And then I've got a debt consolidation loan too that I like tried to get myself. So this is where I messed up. I last time I was this close. I was not when I was this close. Last time I made this concentrated effort to get out of debt. I did a debt consolidation loan. And then I started making these huge payments on that debt consolidation loan. I consolidated because it was much lower interest rate. My local credit union, my local credit union gave me a really great loan, low interest, high payment though, but nothing I can't afford. But my problem is that I was doing these extreme payments and then a couple incidents happened. And instead of having a little bit of money to fall back on, I was like, oh, I got nothing. So then I had to use my credit card. And then, once you use a credit card, one thing rolls after another. And pretty soon you find yourself back in credit card debt. This just how it works. And so I ended up back with three credit cards, monthly payments, and I ended up with the debt consolidation loan. And thankfully, I'm back in school, so I did not have to start paying my student loans. But anyways, I managed to get my credit cards down to one, transferred the balance from the high interest rate ones to my lowest interest rate card, and I definitely took a pretty good credit score hit when because I had to max out that low interest card because I just needed to be done with the high interest cards. And those high interest cards were just not, they're like, no, we can't offer anything lower. So I was like, okay, then peace out. Anyways, all this to say, I could see the finish line approaching and it feels amazing, right? Once those credit cards are paid off, I'm totally done with those. And then I can just focus on the debt consolidation loan, which, all this is, my goal is to have this all minus my student loan debt. That I'll probably have to die with that. But my credit card and loan, my goal is to have it all paid off by the wedding in June. And I'm pretty sure that I can actually do that. But to get there, I've been trying to figure out what I could do to make some sacrifices, right? And getting a second job, I think, would probably destroy me right now. I don't think that's going to work out very well. And you know what? If I had to give up podcasting and the YouTube videos because I got a second job, I think that I might be the most miserable person on the planet. So I have been kind of looking for like other like financial ways to make it, and I have one video. I have a video game streaming service. I have a music streaming service, and I pay for one TV streaming service. That is my only form of entertainment, right? So I've already cut back my expenses down to the bare minimum I need to still maintain some enjoyment in life. And I think what I've decided on is I'm going to try and do like 1 week a month. I'm going to start off for the month of November. I'm going to do 1 week where I don't spend money on anything that is like non-essential. So other than bills, other than bills, groceries, and that's it. Like just like the bare minimum I need to get through life that week. So I think that shouldn't be a problem. It's just like a saying no. If someone wanted to go get a coffee or dinner or something, and I've gotten pretty good at that because my boss at work really likes to do team lunches, like once every other week. He's like, oh, let's go to the taco shop or whatever, and I've gotten really good about saying no to those things because of this. And so I think I can transfer that into my own personal life. I can go a week without doing it, and maybe if that goes well in November, what I'll try to do maybe starting in December is 2 weeks a month of just no spending outside of the absolute minimum I need to survive. My concern is that I'm going to go into this looking to do it, and I'm going to go, okay, I'll just wait till next week, and then I end up spending all the money I would in the first week and the second week. On the other hand, I might say okay, I'm going to do it a week, and then with my memory, I might forget I wanted to buy it. So there we go. I might save that money. I think this will work out. And then if I do 2 weeks up until the wedding, I think that's a lot. I could probably save a good enough extra money that it would be noticeable in the extra debt payments. And so I'm going to try it. I'm going to see how well it goes, see how difficult it is to actually do, of not doing those small little micro expenses that actually, they do add up, but they're easy to sneak in there, So I'm going to see if I can do that. And I'll probably report back and say how successful that was, the difficulties of it, and where I plan to go with it after that. But we'll see. I am really, really committed to getting this debt paid off before we get married. There's nothing I can do about the student loan debt. That's just there. That's partially why I'm back in school, because those payments are absurdly high. So thankfully, I don't have any private student loan debt. It's all government student loan debt. So socialist regime takes over, and I can maybe get it written off. I doubt it, but it's a possibility. For my podcast recommendation, I am actually going to do another morning podcast. This is the Morning Somewhere podcast. It is a Monday through Friday, delivered right around 4 a.m. I think. It is a very good podcast. They talk about current events or other things going on in their lives. It's from a couple that lives in the Irish countryside, Scotland. Live in the Scottish countryside. And they immigrated there from the United States in 2019 or beginning of 2020. I'm trying to remember exactly when, somewhere around there. But the husband, his name is Bernie Burns. I have been a fan of his work since I was I don't know, maybe 12. I've been following this content creator, and anyways, they live out in the Scottish countryside. They've got some sheep, so they've always got some funny sheep stories sometimes and other animal stories. But they just mostly talk about current events, and they put a lighthearted spin on everything because it's a morning show. And it is one of my favorite ways to get up in the morning when I'm making coffee or just starting my day at work. I love turning on this podcast and just catching it. So it brightens my day, and I'm hoping that it brightens yours. So as always, it will be linked in the bottom, but that is the Morning Somewhere podcast. So with that, I'm thinking, was there anything else? I did my first music episode, released the previous week from this show, and I hope you all liked it. I wasn't sure if I put it out the best way possible. And so if there's feedback on it, I would love to get that feedback, because there is at least one more music episode coming out, and then the third music episode, I think I'm just gonna squish into a Saturday morning coffee episode, because I don't know if it would be of interest enough to have its own episode. But I've been wanting to do music episodes since I started this podcast, and I just have not been sure about how to do it. And so I just kind of, with this international music episode, I just decided to pull the trigger and go with it. And I think I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. But I would definitely love some feedback about it, see if there's any ways to improve it, because if there are ways to improve it, then I would like to continue putting out more music episodes later on in the future. I'm going to get this next one out, and then I'll probably take a break from music, and then come back to it every once in a while when there's something really good to talk about. But I love music, and there was a point in my life for many years where I physically could not go a day without listening to music. I cannot play an instrument to save my life. I cannot sing. I am not musically talented at all, but I deeply love music. And nowadays I can't go a day without listening to a podcast. And so that has kind of shifted in my life. It's hard for me to imagine a day where I haven't listened to a podcast in years now. So, pretty much since 2019, when I first started podcasting, I feel like that might have been the case. It's just really hard not to. Same way it's hard not to listen to music. It fills my cup. My cup runneth over when a day starts with a podcast. So anyways, that's it. I hope you enjoyed your cup of coffee today. Have a great weekend.